Have you ever felt completely alone, even while standing among people who should have cared? Have you ever worked with all your heart, only to watch everything fall apart anyway? There comes a moment in a man's life when the world grows quiet, when messages go unanswered, when support disappears, when hope feels distant, and in that silence, something powerful begins. Stay with me, because this story may speak to a place in your heart you've never said out loud. In a quiet town surrounded by dusty roads and open skies lived a man named Elias. He wasn't rich. He wasn't famous. He was simply honest. Elias believed in hard work and kindness. He believed that if he stayed faithful and patient, life would eventually make sense. He worked with his hands, fixed what others ignored, and dreamed of building a peaceful future. One season, without warning, everything changed. Loss entered his life quietly and stayed longer than expected. The people Elias thought would stand beside him slowly stepped away. Promises were forgotten. Support vanished. What hurt most wasn't losing things, it was realizing how quickly people disappear when you have nothing to offer. Elias reached out. He tried to reconnect, but calls weren't returned. Smiles faded. Doors closed. One evening, he saw familiar faces laughing together. When they noticed him, the laughter stopped. One by one, they turned away. Elias stood there alone, wondering, am I really worth nothing now? If you've ever felt rejected like this, don't leave, this part is for you. That night, Elias sat in silence. No comfort. No answers. Just questions. Finally, he spoke the only words he had left. God, I don't have anyone anymore. If you're here, give me strength. Not success, not wealth, just strength. Nothing dramatic happened. No voice filled the room, but the silence felt different. For the first time in a long while, Elias didn't feel completely alone. The next morning, Elias woke up with tired eyes but a steady heart. If no one will stand with me, he whispered, I will stand with God. He began working again, not for approval, not for praise, but because faith demanded action. He repaired what others abandoned. He worked quietly, faithfully, patiently. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. His hands grew rough. His back grew tired. Doubt returned often. But every time it did, Elias remembered one truth: when you have no one except God, you are never truly alone. That he wasn't building wealth, that he was building discipline, character, purpose. One day, a stranger needed help. Others ignored him. Elias didn't. He worked carefully, humbly, and honestly. What he fixed was stronger than before. The stranger was amazed, and word began to spread. Slowly, people returned. Not because Elias chased them, but because faith had changed him. Years later, Elias was respected, not for what he owned, but for who he had become. Those who once walked away returned with regret. Elias could have been bitter, but instead, he smiled. When I had no one except God, he said, I found everything I truly needed. If you're watching this today and you feel abandoned, rejected, or forgotten, remember this: when a man has no one except God, he is not being destroyed, he is being prepared. Your loneliness is not your ending, it is your beginning. Subscribe for more stories that restore faith and purpose. Share this with someone who needs hope today, because when the world walks away, God walks closer, and that is more than enough.